This week, the Gauteng Department of Basic Education confirmed the death of 2 pupils and a general helper. Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Basic Education yesterday condemned these incidents. Well, for more on this, we're joined by Bongiwe Mbinqo-Gigaba, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee. Good evening to you and thank you for your time tonight. It's absolutely concerning to see the scale of violence that continues to take place within and around school premises, particularly in Gauteng. It seems to be where there's an increasing number of these incidents.
Hi, good evening, Katie, and to the viewers at home. I do agree with you, Katie. It is very concerning. Remember, the death is also caused by guns, meaning that our children are carrying guns in school premises. That's really concerning because we are talking about 16-year-olds here. And the question that really comes to mind first is, where are they getting these guns? And why is it so easy for them to carry the same guns into school premises?
There's long been a debate around whether or not it is a good idea to have searches in schools to ensure that learners are not carrying any form of violent weapons on them. Do you think that it's time to revive that kind of conversation? And if you would do that, how would Parliament want to go about that process?
Look, Kathy, just like you have mentioned when you have started that, you know, this is not a first incident. And most of our schools, we know that they do have your security guards in the gates. We'll just have to make sure what was the case with this particular one. But most of our schools, we know that they do have security guards, but whether they do search or not, probably that's where we need to really get into. And like you have just said, we would have to revive something that is there. But I think what we need to do as Parliament is to make sure our schools also deals with the issue of morality, you know? Because like I've said, to me is, how do you have a 16-year-old having a gun in the bag, and then an argument starts and they go to that gun same time and they just shoot, you know? So we can revive that, but look, this is continuous. This continues every time you hear it happens, particularly in your urban provinces. So I think it's something that we need to go deeper. Where are our children getting these guns? I think that is the primary question that we need to ask ourselves, and that is our problem. And I think that is actually what we need to deal with.
On the issue of schools needing to educate learners on morality, you know, it's a conversation, of course, that can happen, but the reality is schools themselves become a reflection of what is taking place in society. Isn't it too heavy a burden to place solely on schools? What is the role of parents? What is the role of families and broader communities? Because often, you know, the schools don't have the children for the majority of the time. Ultimately, they go back into society once they leave those the schoolyard, and that seems to be part of where the problems begin as well.
Yes, I do agree with you on that, you know, schools, by the way, all our schools, if you can check, they are amongst society, they are within our communities. It's not like they are very far away from our houses where we live. And in many instances, because there are many factors here, Katie. For instance, You know, in our open towns, it happens that both parents, actually, they even leave a kid at home because they also rush to work. So, because I remember at 1 year we were having an argument on this, that what is the role of the parents when these things happen? But in many cases, you find out that the same parents are rushing to work. They leave the same kids at home. And like me and you, that our workers would know, you expect your child to be at home. You don't know what is the child getting involved into on his or her way to school and get this kind. So there are many factors into this, which I think we need to look deeper. We've been emphasizing the fact that children need to get involved into their kids' education, and getting involved is to check the homework, but also they need to check even the bags. What is inside the bag? What is this child carrying to school? But you know that most of the parents won't be able to do that 24/7. And maybe what also we need to bring back is the culture of our kids knowing that a parent is not only the parent that lives with you. So when there are parents around the schools, that should be able to look at the kids when other parents are at work. And I think that is what we need to revive. The spirit of Ubuntu, the spirit of our children, knowing that if another parent can be there and search the bags, because that is what our SGBs should actually be discussing, that we need searchers, and these SGBs with our parents in the schools that are involved in the schooling must be the first one that does that. They must be the first one that makes sure that these children's bags are searched. Are they not carrying weapons that are a harm to school? Are they not carrying drugs? Are they not carrying alcohol into the school premises? Because with the high schoolers, which are old, if they regard themselves as that old, such incidences, you get to hear about them. You get to see. But it's very bad now when they kill each other. And you know, you kill a person and then you kill yourself. You must think of the trauma that happened in that school on that Wednesday.
All right. I want us to talk about the role that Parliament is going to be playing here in holding the Department of Education accountable, but also trying to lead and spearhead the process of actually ensuring that safety measures are reviewed in schools and adhered to, because clearly what is being done right now is not sufficient.
I agree with you. Look, what we have said, and we've said in our statements, is that, one, we think that there should be psychological assistance that is given to everyone that was at school. I think that is the first thing that we are recommending as Parliament. But also, we want the department to account to us. We would want the department to tell us what was really happening at that day. Like you were saying, were there searchers in school? And if there were searchers, what happened? How did a gun get into the school premises? You know, from the Parliament, that is what we would want to get into the department to account for us, the Gauteng department, to tell us what were the measures that were there to make sure that each and every person that was in that school at that particular time was safe or not.
Let's leave it there for tonight. The chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Basic Education, Bongiwe Mbinqo-Gigaba.